So good afternoon once again, class. Today we're going to continue our discussion on creating the efficient frontier in Excel. So let's just have a brief review of what we have done so far using the stock history function in Excel here. We were able to download these stock prices. Okay, and we identified the date, the start date and the ending date. And then from there, we computed for the log returns. The log returns is simply your natural logarithm of your price at time t divided by time t minus 1. Okay? So we computed for that the log returns of our stocks. And then we first computed for the average returns of our assets. This one, diba average nito? The average of Microsoft is simply the average of your log returns. And then what we did here was to get the excess returns. The excess returns is simply the log returns minus the average here. Okay, so this is called your expected return. Ism. Ba't siya nagdi-default? Okay. All right. So any questions about your excess returns matrix? We actually highlighted this and then we gave it a name, diba? XRET, because we're going to need this for our variance covariance matrix. Okay, any questions so far? We also gave this a name. Let's give this a name, class. This one. Okay, let's call it stock returns. Stock returns. Enter. So let's check. If I click stock returns, meron na pala. Hindi nasama yung Intel, Luis. Okay, you forgot to include Intel. So tanggalin ko na lang yung ano. So Control F3. Okay, I'll remove stock ret. Delete ko na lang. Actually, we can edit ko na lang to, no? Pwede na, stock returns. Okay. All right, so let me check. Stock returns. Okay, that one. Okay, so what else? We also need to give a name to the standard deviation. Okay, so kulang din ng isa, no? So Control F3, standard dev. Let me edit this. And saan ba siya? A9, AC, tama, AC, 9 hanggang AJ. I'll make this AJ. Oops. Highlight ko na lang. AJ. All right. Okay. Close. So let me check. Just making sure that we're stdev. Okay, there. All right. Okay, technically your Sharpe ratio should be R. Expected return divided by the sigma. Okay, technically the formula for Sharpe ratio is the expected return minus your I'm going to see, minus yan. So expected return minus the risk-free rate. But in this case, we're not including the risk-free rate. But technically, the Sharpe ratio should be netted against the risk-free rate. So if we define the risk-free rate, okay, why don't we do that na lang? Sige. Let's put here, saan? Dito na lang, no? RF. And RF is, usually it's 2%. 2%. 2 to 3%. Let's just assume the risk-free rate is 2%. Then we divide it by, because 2% is annual, so we divide it by the trading days, 252. Yan. Ay, equal to, bagal ng ano ko, ng computer. So this is our risk-free rate. Okay, and therefore our Sharpe ratio, let's adjust this and let's give this a name. Let's call it RF, risk-free. So our Sharpe ratio will be your expected returns minus your risk-free rate, okay, divided by your standard deviation. And okay, okay, it's already fixed because we gave it a name. We can copy this to the right. Okay. All right, any questions, class, so far? For our computations?
Can I see it again?
Okay, which one? Sharpe ratio?
Yes, sir, the computation.
All right. So first you compute for the risk-free rate. Huh? Our risk-free rate is 2%. We're using 2%. What you see is usually U.S. Treasury bills. Huh? Okay. So the formula is the expected returns minus the risk-free rate divided by the standard deviation.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay? Para
Yes, sir.
standard yung formula natin. Okay. All right. So let's now go to our variance covariance. There are several ways to do this, but we will do this using matrix, and then also the actually an easy way would also be the data analysis toolpack in Excel. So let's create our variance covariance matrix. And okay, let's check if multiplicable yung ano natin, matrix natin. So just a quick check. Okay. What is our XRET? What is the size of our XRET column class? What's the size? XRET. How many rows, how many columns?
Eight by 1761 po.
8 by Yung column, yung ano pala, yung rows muna. 1761 rows by column, no? By 8. All right. Okay, so that's the dimension of our XRET. Wait. And then, sorry, naka-transpose pala siya, no? May kulang tong formula natin dito. This should be, let me fix the formula first. Okay, the formula here should be XRET times XRET. Okay, so XRET transpose times XRET over n minus 1. So this is our variance covariance. So our XRET transpose, the dimension, the size of that is, XRET is 1761 by 8. So the transpose of that is 8 by, kasi binaliktad natin, no? 8 by 17.61. Okay? So this is XRET transpose. So difficult without the digital pen. And then the dimension of XRET, so we're multiplying it to XRET. This is 1761 by 8, right? Okay, are these two matrices multiplicable? Answer, please. Could we multiply these two matrices, XRET transpose and XRET?
Yes po.
Why?
Kasi numbers lang naman sila.
Ang rule sa matrix multiplication is that the column of the first matrix, kasi ito rows by columns to, no? Ito rows by columns din. Okay? The columns of the first matrix should be equal to the rows of the second matrix. Yan. Pareho silang 1761. Okay? So multiplicable yan. And the resulting matrix is this one, 8 by 8. Okay? So I don't think I discussed that, but that's a very important principle in matrix algebra. In fact, pag ibaliktad natin, XRET times XRET transpose, let's see if this will do. XRET is 1761 by 8. XRET transpose is what? Ito. Diba? 8 by 1761. Okay, are these two matrices multiplicable? Yes, they are. Okay, pareho yung 8 yung column ng first at saka yung row ng second. However, the resulting matrix is different. Yan. XRET times XRET transpose will give us a 1761 by 1761 matrix. XRET transpose by XRET will give us an 8 by 8 matrix, which is this one. Ito yung variance covariance natin, 8 by 8. And then this is just a scalar quantity, n minus 1. So what happens is that you're just dividing everything here by all the elements in your 8 by 8 matrix by whatever n minus 1 is. Okay? All right? So clear yun, class? Okay, so that's a fundamental rule in matrix algebra. So ito, pwede ito, no? XRET transpose times XRET, and the resulting matrix is an 8 by 8 matrix, which is the size of our variance covariance. And then it can be shown that this is really the variance covariance. Okay, so let me check. May n na ba tayo? N meron na, no? N, 1761. All right, so let me erase muna itong mga sinulat ko kasi gagamitin ko itong space nito. Okay. Okay, so let's compute for this. Highlight niyo yung matrix. So may I again, class, ask you if we didn't do this last time? No? We didn't, right? Class, did we or didn't we? No, okay, so good, thank you. All right, so we need this, we need the variance covariance matrix. If we're going to create a portfolio, but if you recall, what's the formula to create to compute for the returns of the portfolio? With that we discussed, right? What's the formula for returns ng portfolio? Did we, class? Did we? Hello? Did I discuss with you? I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. No, kasi I'm discussing this with the two other subjects. Did we discuss how to compute for the returns of a portfolio? A portfolio, as I said, is a basket of different assets.
Sir, yan ba yung weight 1 times return 1, weight 2 times return plus
Yeah,
weight 2?
the summation, diniscuss ba natin to? Weight sub I times return sub I. I ranges from 1, I is equal to 1 up to N. So this is the formula of class to compute for the returns of the portfolio, of a portfolio. We need to know the weight of the asset multiplied by the return of the asset. Okay, in our case, we already know the expected return of the asset. No. Naroon na tayo niyan. Ito, di ba? Highlight nga natin to para yung mga named ranges natin. Okay, named range. Also the variance, covariance. Yan. Mga named range natin yan. Okay, also N. All right. So, we have the returns of the portfolio. What we need only to define is the weight of the asset. We have the returns of the asset, and then we have if we have the weights of the asset, then we can compute for the portfolio return. It's just the weighted, average, weighted average of the returns of the assets. By multiplying it with the weight of the asset, by multiplying the weight of the asset by the returns, or the returns of the asset by its weight, then we're actually getting the weighted average of the asset. Kasi isa-sum up natin siya. Okay, and then, how about, did I discuss with you the portfolio risk, portfolio standard deviation? Did I? Paki-chat nga please, otherwise i-discuss ko ulit. No? Diniscuss ko ba tong formula na to? Okay, so let me write that formula. The variance of the asset, variance of the portfolio is equal to, malamang hindi pa kasi parang hindi nyo alam eh. It's double summation ng W sub I, W sub J, and then covariance I, J. Did I discuss this, class, last time? All right, sige, thank you. Oh, na-discuss daw, sabi ni Kim, na-discuss daw itong formula, at least itong formula. No? Na-discuss ba? Kasi kung hindi, I'll discuss it. Unless you want me to discuss again this one. Do you want to discuss again the computation for the risk?
Yes, sir. Can we?
Oh, sige. Balikan natin to. Punta muna tayo dito sa ano. Okay, sure. All right. Nakakalito. Oh, talagang makakalito talaga. Oo. All right. So, thank you for your comments, for your feedback. Okay, take a look at this. It's important that we are able to compute for the variance covariance. Bakit? Kasi we're going to need that here. Ito, no? We're going to compute for the variance covariance to compute for the risk of the portfolio. Okay, ito yun, sigma ij. Because sigma ij, that's the covariance of asset 1 with asset 2. will be found here. Dito yun. Okay, kaya kailangan natin to. Okay, so let's now solve for this. And there are several ways to do this. One easy way is yung matrix. So dati nung wala pang data analysis add in sa Excel, matrix was the way to go. So let's do this. So how do we now generate this? We know that the result of this is an 8x8 matrix. So dapat naka-highlight yung 8x8. Okay, pag nagme-matrix multiplication tayo, we need to know what is the resultant dimension. What is the resultant size? Okay, we showed a while ago that the resulting size of this matrix, yung xlet transpose multiplied by xlet, the resulting size is an 8x8 matrix. Okay, so plot muna natin 8x8 and then is equal to, so this one, we're multiplying, no? Ano multiply natin? Yung transpose ni xlet at saka si xlet. Okay, so that this will require an sa Excel, ang matrix multiplication is mmul. Okay, so highlight ko again, highlight, then is equal to mmult. Okay, mmult. And then what's the first one? It's the transpose of xlet. Take note, class, there's no commutative principle in matrix multiplication. Okay, it's possible to multiply matrix A times matrix B, but matrix B times matrix A is no longer multiplicable kasi hindi na sila nagko-conform sa dimensions. Okay, so walang commutative principle sa matrix multiplication. If ever, kung pwede i-multiply sa, katulad nito, di ba? Xlet times xlet transpose times xlet is okay. And then xlet times xlet transpose is also okay. However, the resulting matrix is not the same. All right? So the first matrix that we're going to multiply is the transpose. Kasi ito, yung T na to, transpose to. Ang ibig sabihin ng transpose, class, ibabaliktad natin. In other words, itong mga rows na to, yung mga values ng rows dito, magiging columns. Anong xlet pala, no? So we have transpose ni, then we identify that object x, yun sa ilalim, xlet. There. So yun ang advantage, class, ng giving names, ano? You will not need to highlight. Ang laki ng array na yan, di ba? All right, comma. So where do we matrix multiply it? With xlet. So xlet ulit. There. All right? Okay, so this is the matrix multiplication and transpose ng xlet with xlet. And then we divide it by, we have this object n, di ba? Yung 1761 kanina, minus 1. Okay, so once again, yung advantage ng giving names to cells that would be used in functions and formulas. Okay, so with that, class, ano yung ipipress natin? What do we press, class? If you're performing operations with matrices, what do we press?
Control Shift Enter po.
Okay, you press at the same time Control Shift Enter. Sa Mac, ano ba sa Mac? Command. Ano sa Mac? Command. May shift ba? Okay, thank you, Carlos. Command Shift Enter. All right. So if I press Control Shift Enter here. Okay, sorry, wala ako dito sa ano. Control Shift Enter. Ayan. Okay. All right. So we now have our, gawin ko na lang percent din para lumiit lang yung ano. Okay. All right. So this is now our variance covariance. How do we check if this is okay? Okay. We can check this if we have computations of the variance and the variance of the assets. So the covariance of Microsoft with Microsoft, it's its variance. Okay? The covariance of Microsoft with Microsoft is its variance. So Wait lang. Let me install my digital pen. Kasi ang hirap mag-ano ng mouse eh. Okay. All right. So if you take a look at this class, this one is the covariance of Microsoft with Microsoft. So once you see a sigma with double notation, with double numbers here, it means this is not a standard deviation. This is the symbol for the covariance of asset one with asset one, or in this case with Microsoft and Microsoft. Okay, and another way to write this is sigma 1 squared. Okay, so notice I only have one subscript here, but I have two here. Okay, one subscript here indicates that this is standard deviation. However, with the squared here, this now indicates that this is variance. Okay, so sigma 1, 1 is the covariance of 1 with 1, and it's equal to the variance of 1. Okay, and sigma, for example, sigma 1, 2, this is the covariance of 1 with 2. This is not the standard deviation. Okay. Iba yung formula ng standard deviation sa variance and covariance. If you recall, the formula for variance is x minus x bar times y minus y bar summation squared yan, divided by n minus 1 if it's sample, divided by n if it's population. So x minus x bar squared divided by n minus 1. That's your variance. Ang covariance naman, summation ng x minus x bar, that's for your first asset, this is your asset 1. And then asset 2 is y minus y bar divided by n minus 1. So this is the variance of asset 1. Kasi alam natin, ang standard deviation is the square root of your variance. Ba? Okay, I hope that's clear, class. Okay, any questions so far as to the computation? Wait nga pala, no? Let's take a look at this kasi dito, meron tayong computation ng variance. We computed for the variance of the asset. So ang variance, I'll make this as percentage para madali rin natin makita, mabasa. Okay. What is the variance of Microsoft? 0.0315%. Ano variance na dito? 0.0315%. Di ba? The same. So here, we're able to confirm that ito, yung 0.0315 na to, variance yan ni Microsoft. Variance. Ano variance ni, what is this asset? Facebook, Meta, 0.0618. 0.0618. So if you compare the variance of the asset, Google variance, 0.0315. Variance ni Google dito, 0.0315. Okay? It's exactly the same. Now, this is called variance covariance because it's a combination of variances and covariances. But technically, this is also the covariance matrix because everything here is covariance. But everything here is not variance. Ang mga variance lang dito yung nasa diagonal because you're getting the covariance of the asset JPM with JPM. So this one, JPM with JPM, is the variance of JPM. Carlos, are the variances for each top diagonal? Yes, that's correct. So itong mga diagonals na to, as Carlo pointed out, no? This one, let me just color this. Yan. These diagonals, class, these are all the variances. Okay, why? Because you're getting the covariance of JPM with itself. So if you're getting the covariance of an asset with itself, then that's a variance. Okay, and just to make sure that we understand when we're reading, let's say we're reading books or we're reading journal articles and we see variables like this sigma 1, 1, that's to mean that this is a covariance. Okay, so the covariance of 1 with 1 is just the same as the variance of 1, sigma squared. Okay, and as I said, if we compare all of our variants with the variances here, they will be the same. Okay, so kindly chat please if everything is clear so far. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. How about the others? Waiting for the feedback of the others. And thank you. Okay, the rest? About the others, clear ba so far? Okay, good. Thank you so much, class. All right. Now, actually, there's an easier way to do this. No? Pero we discussed it also using matrices because that should be a concept or knowledge that every FIN student should have, operations na matrix. Okay, but actually, with the advent of the data analysis toolpack ng Excel, hindi na natin kailangan i-ano to, no? Gawing matrix algebra, pero it's nice to have this, no? So let me create this. All right, let me go here, data, and data analysis here. All right, data analysis toolpack, marami dito. Most probably you have encountered this in your other DSI subjects. Tapos andito si covariance here. Covariance. There. Okay. And then we're asked, ano yung input range natin? Input range natin. So it's the covariance of your what class? Covariance ng excess returns natin, no? This one. Tapos we include the labels there. Labels in the first row. Output options. Okay, output range. This natin lagay sa, let's put it here, side by side. Okay. It's taking, oops, ano nangyari? Output range. I'm going to put it here beside the variance covariance matrix. Here, huh? Here. Output range is this one, right? Grouped by columns, yeah? Columns yung ano natin, yung grouping ng asset. All right, then I press OK. Take some time. Tagal ah. Usually mabilis yan eh. Okay, bakit tagal? Did it generate the out? Okay. Okay. So you can now see here the variance covariance matrix. Let's make this percent so that we can easily compare. There, class. Okay. 315, 0266, 0248. Okay. 160, 179, 119. Okay. All right. So they're the same. Only that yung correlation matrix ni Excel, it only gives the bottom portion. Yung upper half, yung lower half lang binibigay niya. Yung upper half hindi niya binibigay. Okay, so I think, wait ha? Wait, Control C. 2, 1. Okay, pwede to, no? You can fill this up manually, no? Ito, kasi yung covariance of Meta with Microsoft is the same as the covariance of Microsoft with Meta. So this will just be equal to this one, di ba? Pareho lang yan. Google with dito muna. Google with Microsoft, this one is equal to Google with Microsoft is the same as Microsoft with Google is the same as Google with Microsoft. This one. Di ba? Okay. All right. Pero matagal yan, ano? So let's see. I have a technique for this. Let me see if this will work. So I'm going to copy this, Control C. All right. And then paste special ko. Paste special natin. Wait, asan na dito? There. Let me repeat. Ulitin ko ah. So Control C, no? Control C. And then asan na yung transpose ano? Ato, transpose class. Transpose and then skip blanks natin. Yan. Okay. Skip blanks. Ibig sabihin, hindi niya ita-transpose yung mga. Okay, let me see if this, I think this will work. Okay. Hindi daw valid. Sandali. Okay, Control C. Copy, paste special. Hindi, wait ha. Hindi. Wait. Let me copy this first. Okay, Control C. Sorry ah. Copy natin to, Control C. Kakopy ko lang siya dito. Control V. Alright. So this one is what I'm going to copy. Control C. Dito ko ipe-paste siya, no? Paste special. Transpose. Skip blanks ba? Ayun, okay. Yan. Alright. In-skip blanks ko, no? Yan. Okay, mas mabilis yan class. Check, no? Okay, do you want me to repeat that class? Just in case you will do that. And if we compare that with our variance covariance, iba parehang-pareho siya, no? 2 Amazon, 255, 160, 179. Okay. Okay, any questions, class? Okay, mabilis yung ginawa natin, di ba? Copy-paste natin and then transpose and then keep blanks. Okay. All right. So we now have our variance covariance matrix. Now it's also good, plus it's good practice to compute for the correlation. Yung correlation naman, it will tell us which among the assets are correlated. So let's do that. Let's generate the correlation matrix. Also, two ways to do this. The matrix method. Okay. So ito, class, ang formula natin ito is, let me insert here, insert symbols. Ang formula ng correlation is the variance covariance. Ano ba ginamit natin? Okay. Let me change the name of this class. Let me call this, palitan ko si sigma, gawin natin ano, capital letter. Okay. Naka-subscript ba to? Subscript naman siya. Okay, so our variance covariance, sigma ij. Okay. And then we divide it by yung ano, we divide it by the standard deviation. So that's that ST-dev. ST, yan ba yung pangalan natin? Transpose. And then everything is to the 1/2. Square root. Yan. Okay, so this is the formula class for our variance covariance, our correlation, I'm sorry. So you can compute the correlation matrix from the variance covariance and vice versa, because covariance and correlation are related to each other. Okay, so let's compute for that. Once again, let's just copy this. Control C, Control V, and then let's replace this. Let's delete that. Okay, I'll remove the, okay. Okay, so let's perform this operation. It's your sigma, again, highlight, and let's give this a name. We haven't given this a name. Ito. Let's call this var covar. Var covar. So our variance covariance matrix. Okay. So this now has a name. Var covar. We can now use that here. Highlight natin tong matrix ng correlations natin is equal to var covar. Var covar, and then we divide it by ito, matrix multiplication nasa ilalim, no? Divided by, so that's m molt ng ano, i-multiply natin yung transpose ni ST, yung object natin na create, and STD, the standard deviation, diba? Naka-transpose siya, and then comma, ST-dev din ulit. that one. So I'll close the mmult. Okay, nakasarado na si mmult. And then I'm going to put this whole expression in 0.5, 1/2. No? There. Okay, so let me pause for a while and then Control Shift Enter. When you're done, class, kindly chat, please. Control Shift Enter. Should be getting this. And okay, so what can you see with this one? Technically, class, hindi maganda yung portfolio natin kasi yung correlation ng mga stocks natin medyo highly correlated, no? Ang time point 888. Google with Microsoft expected kasi mga tech stocks to eh. So you will actually have an assignment, no? A graded assignment to, parang take-home quiz to, where you will create your own portfolio, but your portfolio should be coming from different industries. Okay, so
So can I see the formula?
okay.
The original one.
This one?
Oh, okay. I forgot to Control Shift.
Oh,
Enter.
Control Shift Enter, no? Gerald, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Control Shift Enter. All right. Okay, so this is our correlation. Now, what's the purpose of this? What's the value of the correlation matrix? It tells us the relationship, the linear relationship between your between the assets in your portfolio, and we don't have assets that move in opposite direction. So ibig sabihin, lato they move in the same direction, which in a sense is not good. No? And the correlations are high. Okay, well, we just randomly selected these assets, even if we were trying to Microsoft, Beta, Google, Amazon. These are tech stocks. Amazon is in online retail. JPM and Golden Sachs. If you take a look at the relationship between JPM and Golden Sachs, ang taas, 0.921, as expected kasi they belong to the same industry. Pero kahit si McDonald's imagine McDonald's and JP Morgan, ang taas ng correlation nila, no? Diba? So when you choose stocks for your assignment class, make sure that you choose, so you'll be required to do 12 stocks coming from 5 to 6 different industries. So that medyo varied yung tapos research yung class, yung pili din kayo ng mga good performing at saka not so good performing stocks. Okay? All right. So of course, class, you can also generate the correlation matrix in Excel. Ito. Let me just illustrate that. Data. Okay, data analysis. And then here is your correlation. Here. And once again, we identify kung ano yung field natin. Input range natin is your excess returns. This one. Okay, we included the header. So grouped by columns, okay? Labels in the first row, yes. And then our output range. So we put it beside the correlation matrix, the one that we generated using matrix, the sigma over the variance covariance divided by the sigma, transpose sigma. Okay, let's go up here. I'll put it here below, here, okay, there, all right, to give allowance for the names, okay, and then you'll get the same answer as your correlation, okay, and again, what's the purpose of the correlation? It will help us to see the quality of our portfolio also, because if we have a portfolio that's where the stocks are very highly correlated with each other, then that's no good. Okay, that defeats the purpose of diversification. Diversification is supposed to hedge our holdings, our asset from from good and bad states of the economy. Okay, if they're all the same, then it will be okay when the economy is fine. Then all of them will be, when the economy is bullish, all of them will be going up. But when it's bearish, then all of your holdings will go down, since they're highly correlated. Okay, let's wait for it to load. Is it taking your computer also a long time to compute? Have you generated the correlation matrix? Anyone? Who has already?
Instant po for me.
Instant for you? Wow, bilis ah. Dapat ganun eh. Hindi ko lang alam, siguro baka marami akong naka-open na Excel na ano. How about the others, class? Dapat ganun kabilis yun eh. Dapat mabilis siya. Yung iba, class, comment naman please. No feedback? Kamusta na iba, please? Were you able to generate your correlation matrix? Okay, si Carlos, si Luis, okay na yung iba. Kindly chat class if okay na.
Sir, can I see ano po yung highlight for Varco po? Okay, thank you, sir.
Kanina pa ako nagsasalita. Sorry, Kim. Yeah. I was saying that something's wrong with our correlation matrix here. Yung covariance matrix natin tama. Tama siya. Yung correlation matrix, may mali ako dito. But the formula is correct, no? Tama naman yung formula natin. It's the variance covariance divided by standard deviation ni standard deviation. Yeah, tama. Kasi di-divide natin ng standard deviations yan. Ng dalawang standard deviation. and the ratio is 1/2, or tama na yung formula natin, raised to the 0.5. Diba? Raised to the 1/2 or raised to the 0.5. Everything, okay, everything. Okay. Sige, mas tama ito class yung correlation. So let me just, in the interest of time, i-check ko muna class kung saan tayo nagkamali dito, kung saan ako nagkamali dito. Tama yung formula eh. It's the variance covariance. Divided by M multi ng transpose ng standard deviation. Tsaka, kasi kung hindi multiplicable yan, hindi magja-generate ng ganitong answer. Raised to the 1/2, 0.5. Okay. Tama siya. Pero when we check, minanual ko yung, minanual ko class yung correlation. I got the correlation of Microsoft and Meta based on the returns, no? And it's giving me 0.6034. Now, unless, okay, wait. Okay. I think R and S. Okay. Alam ko na yung discrepancy. So, dapat to, check ko lang ha. R, S, S, okay. 0.60344. Tama. Bakit mali ito? Okay, so class, let me go over this. No, pasensya na. Okay. Bakit kaya nagkamali ito? Let me check this. Let me double check this. No? And maybe you can also help me double check it. Okay, but let's now move on to, kasi konti lang oras natin, no? Let's now go to yung ng portfolio natin. Let's now create our portfolio. So portfolio creation na tayo, no? When we say portfolio creation, anong weights yung mga natin na gagamitin, no? Okay, so let's copy this. Hindi lahat kakailangan na natin. Control C. We will delete those that we do not need. Okay, so kailangan natin yung we need the returns. Ito. Ano pa kailangan natin? Yung we need the variance. Ito, kailangan din natin. And hindi na natin kailangan. We need the variance. We need, of course, the standard deviation. Okay, but tanggalin na natin tong mga name. No? I'll just put here sigma P to indicate that this is for the portfolio. Subscript. Okay. So this one is the standard deviation of the portfolio. Okay, this is our Sharpe ratio. Kopyahin ko na lang yung formula sa taas. This one. Ay, pareho lang pala. E sub R minus RF over R sigma. Okay, so we will have time for one portfolio, and then we'll continue with this next meeting. Okay, so we need, okay, palitan ko na rin to, no? Tanggalin ko na yung para mas maiksi na. P. So this is now with respect to the portfolio already. Control 1, subscript. Okay, so we have here the expected return of the portfolio. We have the variance of the portfolio, risk of the portfolio, and the Sharpe ratio. This is the Sharpe ratio. Okay, so we need the weights. Okay, so babalikan ko yung formula natin dito. Okay. Now, we said that in a portfolio, it's a basket of assets. So you have in our case, asset 1 up to asset 8. Now the question is, of the funds that we have, how much will be allocated to asset 1, asset 2, etc., up to asset 8. Whatever that allocation is, that will be your weight. Okay? And knowing the historical performance of your asset, you know the expected return of the asset. So if you have identified the weight, okay, multiply it by the return, and then sum it up, then you have the portfolio return. Now, on the other hand, for the risk is defined by this. So the variance of the risk is double summation okay. So assume that you have a 3-asset portfolio. The best way to discuss that is by coming up with an example. So let's say you have a 3-asset portfolio. So you have, where's my pen? Asset 1, asset 2, asset 3. So if we take a look at this, we're going to do pairs because this is double summation. So we have a pair of 1, 1, okay, and then 1 with 2, and then 1 with 3, and then 2 with 1, 2 with 2, 2 with 3, and then 3 with 1, 3 with 2, 3 with 3. So there are actually 9 pairs here. Okay, 9 pairs. 1 with 1, 1 with 2, 1 with 3, 2 with 1, 2 with 2, 2 with 3, 3 with 1, 3 with 2, 3 with 3. So let's perform this operation. So if it's 1 with 1, you'll have 1, 1, W1. You're going to replace I with 1, J with 1. So that will become your W1 squared. Okay, and then this is the covariance, right? Sigma 1, sigma ij. So if it's 1 and 1, it will be sigma 1, 1. So that's the covariance of 1 with 1, which is your variance of 1. Okay, so that's 1, 1. Now we go to 1, 2. 1, 2 is W1, W2, sigma 1, 2. Right? So that will be now our pair. And then it should be added plus W1, W2, covariance 1, 2. And then we have W1, 1 and 3. So that will be W1, W3, covariance of 1, 3. And then we have 2, 1. Okay, we're done with 1. In the first summation, we finished 1 first, and then we go with 2. So we'll have 2, 1, 2, 2, and 2, 3. So 2, 1 is W2, W1, sigma 2, 1, which is just the same as W1, W2, sigma 1, 2. Okay? So we will put it here, W2, W1, sigma 2, 1. And they're the same. Okay? So that's 2, 1. And then 2, 2. What's 2, 2? W2, W2. That's W2 squared. Sigma 2, 2. That's the variance of 2. We can put it here, W1 squared, the variance of 2. So that takes care of the 2, 2 pair. Okay? And then lastly, we have 3. We still have 2 with 3. So 2 with 3, we have to add it here, plus W2, W3, covariance 2, 3. Okay. And then lastly, we have 3, 1. 3, 1 will go here. Okay. W3, W1, sigma 3, 1. How about 2? 3, 2, it will go here. W3, W2, sigma 3, 2. And 3, 3, it will go here, right? That's the W3 squared covariance of 3. And this one, we can add this to be, we can replace this as 2 W1, W2, sigma 1, 2. And this one also can be replaced by 2 W1, W3, sigma 1, 3, and the other one will be 2, W2, W3, sigma 2, 3. Why W? Because there are two terms. They're the same anyway. Okay, so for our three asset portfolio, we have this, we have this, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms. Okay, and there's a formula to get to know how many terms there will be when we do a pair. When we do, that's choosing 2 from among 3. Okay. In fact, you can use Excel for that, the choose function. But anyway, so let's, it's almost time, class. So let me just, at least we were able to create our first portfolio. So for this one, for our portfolio creation, let's first have equally weighted, okay? So for the first portfolio creation natin, number 1 is, let's just put here, equally weighted portfolio. Okay. Equally weighted portfolio. Therefore, let's put the names here so that we're, okay, Control C and Control V. All right. So the weights will be equal to 1/8, right? Equally weighted sila. So tig 1/8 sila. And we can check that by adding is equal to sum. The sum should be 100 or 100%. There. Okay. Just make it to decimal places. Okay, so this is our weights. And we would be needing this. Okay, so what will be our expected returns? Our expected returns will be, remember the formula, the sum of the weights and the returns. So this is the weight times the return of Microsoft. Weight of Meta times the returns of Meta. So we can actually get the sum product. You can use the sum product. Sum product is you're getting the products of each of the items and then get the sum. So the returns are we gave it a name, stock ret. So this is stock returns, this one, right? And we're going to multiply that to the weights. So stock returns and the weights array. So what Excel will do is it will pair each of the weights with the returns. So that will be W sub I, R sub I. And then it will sum it up. Okay, this one sum. Sum of the products, enter. And we have this. Let's make it decimals. So this 0.0386. Okay, let's compare our portfolio with our individual assets. 0.0386. So it's lower than Microsoft. It's higher than Meta, lower than Google. So what happened was that it's higher than some of the stocks, but lower than some. Of course, definitely it's higher than Intel, and then lower than Goldman Sachs, etc. So there are some stocks that are higher in terms of performance compared to our portfolio. Okay, so what will be our portfolio risk? Okay, now if we're going to do this, mahaba yan, class, no? Because we have here the individual variances. So eight terms to, no? Variance ni 1, variance ni 2, variance ni 3, hanggang variance ni 8. And then we have the cross product, W1, W2, W1, W3, W1, W4, W1, W5, etc. No? So good thing in matrix algebra that's very, very easy. No? It will be the weight matrix times the transpose times the transpose, okay, times the variance covariance, and then times the weight matrix. Bago yung ano. Okay, so let me just fix this. Oops. So just to make sure that we understand the formula, this is weight transpose. Control 1, and then superscript. This is your sigma ij, okay? That's your variance covariance matrix. Okay. So this class is the formula for the risk of the portfolio, the variance. And then here we just get the square root of that. Just the same, but we just get the square root. Okay. All right. So let's do this. So for this one, it will be equal to, again, M mod. This is M mod, right? Let's check first if this is multiplicable. Okay, let's see. What's your weight matrix? Your weight matrix is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 by 8, right? And then transpose it, magiging 8 by 1 siya. 8 by 1. And then what's your variance covariance matrix? That's 8 by 8. Oh, hindi pa pwede. No? So dapat, hindi siya pa pwede class. Take a look at this. This is 1, this is 8. So that's not multiplicable. So we have to adjust our formula. Our transpose should be at the end. Dito. Kasi pwede rin yung matrix natin na nakatayo eh. All right, so there we go. So what's our weight matrix? Our weight matrix is, ay mali, wait. Sandali, mali ako, sorry. Nako, nalolobat na ako ah. This is wrong class, this is wrong. What's the size of our weight matrix? 1 row by 8 columns. No? So if we multiply it with the variance covariance, which is 8 by 8, tama, pwede siya. Okay? Pwede siya. So the resulting matrix here is 1 by 8. 1 by 8 na to. And then if we multiply this by the weight transpose matrix, okay, this is the weight matrix, 1 by 8. The transpose of that is 8 by 1. 8 by 1. So multiplicable siya. And the resulting size is 1 by 1, which is right kasi isa lang naman yung metric ng ano natin. So let me control G ko na lang. Hindi natin pwede yan. Ayan, okay. So back here. Back to this formula. Okay, so it will be equal to first M mod, no? M mod nino. Copy ko siya dito para kita natin. Okay, so is equal to M mod nino. First is M mod nitong transpose nino ni weight. Ito. Transpose ni weight multiplied with this one, the variance covariance. Var covar, there. Okay, so yan yung first ano natin, no? So, transpose, and then multiply natin si transpose at saka si var cover. And then, another matrix multiplication, dito ko siya ilalagay sa harap. Another M mult. This time with the weight matrix. Okay, so put the weight matrix here, there. All right? And then everything, okay na. So, variance to eh, no? Control Enter. Okay, oops. Ako nagkamali. transpose ng 8C39, AJ39, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Tama naman. M-malt. Una muna to. Transpose. So, sarado natin yung M-malt. Tapos, susunod, M-malt ulit nito. Ito yung first expression natin. And multiply that with the weight. Okay. Una yung transpose ng weight, variance, covariance, and then the weight. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Tama naman yung natin. Control, Shift, Enter. Okay, value. Bakit ako nagkaka-value? Okay, how about in your case, class? Were you able to get it? Weights.
Same problem, sir.
Wait, okay, sige. Sige, it's already time. So, what we're going to do, class, is I'm going to review this. And then, review nyo rin kung saan tayo nagkamali. No? Dapat hindi yung mag-value. So, let me just check. So, ginawa ko na to sa isang klase. Let me see. Ay, hindi. Wala dito, class. Okay, let me just... this was what we used in the other class. Let me just show you. Hindi ito. Ito. Wait. Alright. So, nagawa na namin to efficient frontier. And just checking. Oh, ito. Yeah. By 8. 8 by 8. 1 row. W matrix 1 by 8. Tapos 8 by 8. Tama naman. Ano, variance kasi ito eh. M-malt, M-malt. Bakit ganun? Parang mali ito. This times this, weight matrix is 1 by 8. Sigma matrix is 8 by 8. So, multiplicable siya, 1 by 8. Anyway, class, sige. I-check ko muna to, no? And then we'll continue with this. We'll finalize everything hanggang ano na tayo ng efficient frontier natin. Dito, hindi nga masyado maganda yung efficient frontier namin. Okay, so this is the efficient frontier. So next meeting, we'll finish this class, and then we'll move on to the next part of our lesson. Okay, so let me stop recording now. Sorry for the some of the mistakes dun sa ano. So I need to review yung model, baka may nagkamali ako dun sa iba. No?